Biologically, stress is our body's response to some really nasty, big, scary stimulus, like a grizzly bear. It's what our body does to enable us to escape or defend ourselves in order to survive, to reproduce. Behaviorally speaking, though, it's what we experience when we're experiencing negative reinforcement. So our body experiences stress when a threat's introduced. So between the time the threat's been introduced and the time we escape, we experience stress. Graphically, if you follow this little blue line as your behavior, you run into a big, scary grizzly bear, your behavior will increase. Once you've escaped, your behavior decreases dramatically. So let's say you outran the bear. That was your chosen method, was to flee. Once you've outrun the bear, you're probably not going to continue running for 26 miles. You're going to stop, right? Your stress response, similarly, will spike after the threat, and it will decrease really dramatically after you've escaped. Evolutionarily, the stress response for Mr. Caveman running away from the mastodon would stop after he's escaped. Stress is meant to be short-lived. Biologically, it's meant to be something that occurs quickly to aid you in escaping something that's been life-threatening. As we've evolved and developed these fabulous big brains, we've also developed the ability to perceive things as life-threatening when they're not. So this has also given us the ability to react and have a stress response happening in our body over the course of days, weeks, months, years, over things like paperwork and a dirty house and the kids. So why am I talking about this at a leadership conference? Well, the truth is, leaders have a lot of control over how much stress their people experience in the workplace. It's how you're arranging the environment. It's the things you're saying and doing every day that can help or harm your people and the stress that they're experiencing. In our minus environment, where threats are constantly being introduced over and over and over, it's miserable to be in. It's not fun. And when I'm saying R minus, I'm not saying you've released a grizzly bear into the office. I mean, they're very subtle things in the workplace, right? They're the under-the-breath comments. They're the taking vacation again type comments, right? They're very subtle things that happen all the time that make us feel a little bit under threat. They're deadlines, they're papers, they're reports. But what happens is that the stress response in this environment never returns to baseline. A lot of work environments are like this. Once you've met one deadline, a new one steps up to take its place. Once you've made one boss happy, there's someone else asking you for something else. Once one project's done, you have another one to get to. So your stress response is never actually allowed to even return to baseline. It becomes kind of the norm. The other thing in an R minus or do it or else type culture is that you're never going to get discretionary effort from your people. You're going to get the minimum to outrun the bear. They're going to run the 100 yards that they need to run, and they're going to stop. So how do you fix it? So this first antidote is R+. I understand that in a real-world situation, we're not going to be able to only use R+. But what I am suggesting is that you could use enough R+ in the environment to make the R- less stressful. So if you introduce a bear into the environment, give lots and lots of reinforcers after the behavior you want has occurred. So if you give someone a deadline for a report, give them loads of reinforcement once they've finished it. Do it again the next time. Do it again the next time, and the next. What this does is makes the stress response each time a little bit smaller. So that by the fourth time you've asked me for the fourth report, my stress response has gone to nearly minimal because I'm experiencing so much positive reinforcement in the environment. The second antidote for this would be to eliminate uncertainty as much as you can. And this takes a bit of self-awareness and some reflection on what you're doing and saying every day. But giving people clear and defined goals and tasks is one way to do that. Clarifying your communications is another. Doing the things you say you're going to do is a really big one. Antidote number 3, give them some control. Research has linked the amount of control you feel over your own work environment to how much stress you're likely to report feeling. They've also linked it to health implications. So if you can give people more, So a little bit of freedom about how or when to complete tasks. They're going to feel less stressed. Antidote number 4 is to make escape easy. I'm not talking escape from the workplace. I'm talking escape from R-. So when you introduce a threat into the environment, you should make sure that there is a high probability that this person will be able to escape it. They should know exactly how they could escape it. So you need to give them a very pinpointed behavior that they need to do, and as soon as it's done, that threat needs to be removed, and lots of R+ needs to be offered. If you're constantly giving people lots of threats that they're never going to escape, or there's a very low probability that they'll escape, you yourself will become a source of stress for them. At the end of the day, for leaders, it's really about examining what you're saying and doing every day and figuring out how it's impacting the people around you. It's about using behavioral science to make the environment better and to help yourself avoid becoming the office grizzly bear. Thank you.